majority lolia or technical expertise play me now, so that even in there we empower them for time or to make them recommendation. Me follow politician minister, me follow play around with him technical, and that should be good for our country rather than me live in space. Then minister sa make him discretion block at the law there, then him sabe wrong all about it. So I've looked through and see that the board composition look at the ministry with due respect, look at the current interest in terms of the investment, more so like the Ministry of Commerce. We need them, but for a board that advises or make recommendations to the minister, I mean that if any technical one comprising of more technical expertise from the mining sector, but in by me like Luklem, I could recall recently with the building standard bill now being passed. Mifala Karim that issue and Okata take him on board and 2-3 adjust amendments for him, help him strengthen him that Tintin him come out. What now take WPS?
Thank you, Chair. By me leaving director for him comment further, but the thinking now is that we'll be very much looking into that direction where you suggest him here. And as you probably also note in the discussions earlier, much of the technical deliberations, scrutiny and also and then the due diligence process done by what a technical man Loyumi Law Mines Division. Having said that, we think that the composition of the board, with the support of a very strong Mines Division team, sufficient. Though we are thinking in the the proposal that by chairman of the board, chairman of the board will probably be an area that Bayumi look into, because it seems that there is an issue. Time you got a director who receives the application and the director who chairs the board. Awesome. Director, you may wish to elaborate more.
Thank you, Chairman. So within this composition board, the majority of the due diligence is done by the Mines Division, as well as the other divisions that are located. And during the course of due diligence, once me fala custom, one fala, say for example, if a question is on foreign investment, me fala save, before this is taken to the board, me fala save seeking advice law Director of Foreign Investment for helping me fala for looking this fala a particular section of the application. So technical team ota dream na the assessment, the composition blow border you look him as such because ota just for making na decision no more. And a new bill said that SEM have arranged for ensure that every officer working in the ministry or the relevant ones that are providing now to the board the services, facilities and resources such as technical and administrative assistance for the board when needed. But to answer your question, the due diligence, the technical and assessment have done by the division, and the findings plan now if I present him to the board for a decision to be made.
Thank you, Director. Yeah, if I look at the checks here, but if I don't make them decision, I'm call board. So the board has the power and the final say. That one now, me looking at one for consent. Then further to that one too, the chairman, yeah, him not really pin him down or technical expertise in the mining. Him got him knowledge enough now.
So, is a repeating question?
Me just say yeah, if follow by Kim go okay the technical adjustment and check do you follow, but final decision him no waiting me follow him no board, no by make him. So whether okay accept him or no, the bill him no really get him okay to that. State of decision making. So that is to me a concern. Then further to that, the chairperson law board, yeah, not necessarily have to be technical man, but Minasa why now choice him or him. It's a policy choice. But also, I'm concerned on me because we are dealing with a very technical area here, and me living for me open also, it could fall below our expectation in terms of the decisions that him to like him for, or me expect him to be made.
Yes, thank you, Chair. If I may, the composition of the board, the Director Mines will be a member, which in this case, I mean, the thinking around is by a technical person, and even much of the deliberations, due diligence and all same, he or she will be part of it, and even to highlight areas of concern, it will be made during the due diligence process here. So a chair himself, he might just be chairing the board no more, but much of the technical discussions by him come with technical experts, as including the director.
So the new scheme is that, let's start with the prospecting license. So if a company or, was interested in a particular tenement, get a come, or get a apply that application, by same it, then come lo directorate it, man. First point of entry na yeah.
Yes, thank you. So with a new bill, when an application comes, so there's like 3 levels of assessment now by done. First of all, the assessment is done by the Director of Mines, and then after that, the board have also doing an assessment too. So there are about a list of factors where board are taken into consideration. And the third one is if the minister him not satisfied, then he also does an assessment, whatever something where board him cover him, then him by him. If him him by look him, then him by asking board for reconsider or something where board him not considering before, but it's got to be of a technical nature. So him now
but him cannot override him. So him cannot make him decision for.
No, the minister will not make him decision. Him by decision.
Must send him go back more board.
Yes.
So why is the board still involved in making assessments?
Assessment.
Chair. In essence, the board is basically there for say yes, no, based on the report submitted by the Directorate here. So whatever that is made final, also you can see that the Directorate office is like a gatekeeper. Yeah? The assumption was that everything will come before board, him final, and any deficiency and also will be picked up. But in any case, him for finalize him, and then you inform, yeah, the minister that this is the position. But that is not to say that any issues brought before the board by the board members should know. Lulukuluhem also, but the thinking is much of the needed due diligence has to be made appropriately, and also for even convince him to board members that am well taken care of also.
So I am assuming that part law due diligence and assessments play for law technical level already include him. You got check him foreign investment, check him central bank, check him company house, or wherever you need to check. You've done all of that before him get to the board. Once it gets to the board, it's just affirm him no more decision here. Governance is very important, even when it is merely affirming, has been done at the technical level. In which case, then composition of board, no really need for. It's not as if you want the director of foreign investment to come and reassess during board process. So whether director of foreign investment, for example, should be part of that decision-making law board level, to me, it seems to be a little bit superfluous. Perhaps even Commission of Lands. All of that work should have been done at technical level. Any lands issues, you canvass in the technical level, hem form part law submission below golo board. So time directorate me submit golo board, hem no say, oh, everything will look all right except law lands. No, you know, leave an exception. You cover me every issue and a decision can only be made when the information is complete. If I'm incomplete, you know, even pass him golo board, and in which case, you don't need the Commission of Lands. Or we need him because I must acquire him tenement here before mining lease or start. Well, that's a completely new process. You don't need a commissioner on the board to be able to do an acquisition. You write to them, and then you invoke in process, So, and same with him, Director of Environment. I am assuming that, again, that process for local law, environment impact, and also am done prior. If, say, Director of Environment, give him come development consent, then him come sit down on board more for FMM. There's no arm's length there. Or if him reject him come, but the matter ends up law board yet, then him more there, again, there's no arm's length. We do need protections. I'm just questioning the it just seems to me the same people you are relying on for the technical assessment, both geological, mining, and the rest of it, plus the wider, broader socioeconomic issues, land, immigration, foreign investment, or something here. That one must form in part of submission blue for Goya. You would have dealt with all of that. And the board, perhaps should look a little bit different to show there is an arm's length between the information that's gathered from these various authorities, these various agencies, and those that are making the decision at the board level. But here, everyone involved same way. Is that a deliberate choice? Or, I mean, in many ways, him mirem no more current setup, And composition law board, of course, of look roughly also. So you just keep him no more. Is it because if it ain't broke, don't fix it? It's broken, the system. I mean, the governor of the central bank. Why do you want the governor on this board? It's nothing to do with monetary policy. Monetary policy, no more law. Central bank here.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I think that the look into the board, you raised very important issues around him. That one, the actual experiences around, you know, the level of due diligence and also at times time board him deliberate. Him also still need him some assistance or, you know, ascertaining of specific issues where when our team take for an example during the due diligence process prior to any paper that comes to the board, sometimes there is someone where I'm attending that for the situation law the various agencies, him not that as someone who's, you know, supposed to, or it's a delegated responsibility. So, but then we experience that time come law board, there are occasions when the governor, central bank, him sit down law there, him really help him more. A very strong decision where him no being part of the due diligence earlier. These are just experiences anyway. So with those experiences also we tend to think that also the composition of the board hemi good, but there are times when the delegate of tasking and also in practical sense, him not really that as if the same person does it earlier on as compared to if, let's say, sometimes PS Finance him not turn up here during the board also, and so some of the informations that am already asked of during the due diligence processes, only deliberated on time. Yes, board hemi deliberate lo hem kain, and there are also instances where, you know, issues of maybe land ownership and disputes and also hemi come up amongst other people, and then there are situations where you have those that are supporting prospecting and again contesting it when it comes to actual mining kind of semi. And there are instances of people who claim ownership during ML stages or mining license stages, or no really active when during the prospecting stages. So also the only way that could be managed is how quick we can do registration of what customary areas here. That's why we see the significance of engaging someone from lands, him come on board and also assist here. I think those are few remarks I could make on that one, but I take the points raised and very important for considerations too.
I mean, all of what you said is what should be happening prior to any submission going to the board. If current board did deal with him issues here in the way that you described him, this means no more submissions below directorate goal board him incomplete, inadequate, insufficient. And so therefore you're relying on the principals, members of the board, to be filling in the gaps, what you don't know. And what you don't know just because you didn't do the legwork. But we are, under the bill, we're hoping that the directorate will be resourced to be able to do everything. So you receive an application, you should circulate it. If you think Commissioner should say something on it, circulate now. And then part of that one must be a criteria. They must tick some boxes. They've had a look at some things. Ticking box, yeah, this one alright, oh no, this one problem. Then come back to Law Directorate. Immigration, Commission of Labor, everyone now. Come back to Directorate, then Directorate, oh, Commissioner got a problem issue also. Oh, Commissioner of Labor also. Director Immigration also. So you're not waiting for the board level to be dealing with this stuff, which is really petty stuff that should have been dealt with. But the way you've described him come here, you're still inviting this stuff to end up board mo have to deal with. Oh, mator lan ono sem right come lo letter also mo say oh no agree. Well, that really should be a matter that should have been dealt with elsewhere. So when you get to the board, really you're just going for affirmation. If Directorate said no, affirming the no. Directorate said yes, affirming the yes. It should be complete information that's going up there. Where we assess not just in terms of the geological, technical side of him, but also the other economic, whatever else side where you usually include him. In which case you need to spell out a little bit more this fellow process. What happens when an application is received? It's received by who? It's entered into a register. And then from there, hem golo who, how long na ba hem stop lo Mr. Who here, and hem golo na ron by how long mo, putum time limit lot something, make a man no go sit down to wait for fish and chips come before move file. Big problem blue me too, yeah. If it did that, then everybody has to do something. Then each time it moves, there's got to be a checklist. That office, that person is supposed to do certain tasks. Those tasks should be either in this act or in regulations. So it's law. If there are additional administrative tasks, that one, all right, but the base, significant or important things must be either in regulations or in the law, so that the officer has no discretion for picking what is important, what is not important. And then time look law report, oh, me forget man, me should look law this one. No, anything also, me look 21st century na man. You mean no operate also me law 1922 yet. If you forget him something, then behind him it is kick around for him. So I think that process needs to be revisited. In which case it may then impact your board composition. For think around him more.
And PS in Adulat, okata members lobo here propose ya. I mean, okata ko just go for lodia make him decisions. All style okata obsolete laws blame this well style everyone inside the molopodia. Or whether to him come law office block it, then come to him law board more. I guess that is why the number law board members here, I'm Kasim 11. Do we really need that board to have 11 board members? What's the policy rationale here? What the leader of opposition hemi talemia tami mi luluk lai matin by hemi also change him a little bit in phone number hem koko up ya. So is there any real need as to why the number of that board has to be, that big? At the moment, hemi propose him 11.
Thank you, Bami Fala. Response Bami Fala in this way. First of all, the question was why not if you garam 11. Currently, 11 members there. 11 members na lo board. So with new one, you may look at me. I think it's 13 members there, not 11. So this new one, I'm looking at inclusion block commissioner of lands, and also two fala. If law province, then the PS law province and the landowner representing that area, or the two by additional members of the board at the time when we deliberate one particular area. I'm not law aside law composition law board. With the comment by Honorable Auke Langalanga, reality we facing is. Like before receiving applications, yeah, we send them out for the board members to have a look. Before not getting the responses in time, because in a year we have board meetings every quarter. Yeah? So when we receive, we send them out, but timing blotter for respond no more. So at that, so that is why sometimes people say, okay, during a board meeting, maybe by him bring him come na position blow division of ministry blame.
Yeah, I think that's an issue you must overcome, and I think you need to spell it out in the law. Part law due diligence. You receive an application. First, you make your office makes an assessment. Is this for the purposes of your technical assessment? Is it a complete application? If yes, next step, Golo Commissioner of Lands or Golo. Well, it just goes to everybody, all the stakeholders you need, specified in law. So they're breaching the law if they don't respond in time. There should be a statutory time limit compelling them to respond. So that I live in Bamigo Kasim law meeting na Bamito talk, hey, this one no village committee man. We're dealing with national issues and the law needs to specify clear timelines or it must respond to him. Because what I'm hearing from you is it means that if I would not respond, they haven't read those documents, then time out come law board no more, then they're speaking off the top of their heads. Man, no wonder what decision making him erratic here. We make a decision one day, then you go read him what files a good mood. Man, I think should all say me. We shouldn't allow that kind of, it's not a very professional way to do these things. So that board process is going to be a critical part of your governance now, and we need to get it right. I mean, why can't the board be much smaller? And me thinking below me, because the mineral sector is on the cusp of taking off. It's going to be the largest contributor to GDP over the next 50 years. So we need to get it right. And perhaps given the strategic nature of it, there's going to be elements of it whereby in the due diligence, for example, there may be some applications that will impinge on national security. So in that phase, the pre-board phase, during the assessment or directorate level, you'll be seeking those kinds of inputs. So maybe the board should be much smaller. And perhaps even just within the ministry itself. When this whole process moves to an MRA setup, then I think arm's length relationship here by Barawe help law governance for good. But in the interim, it perhaps should be smaller. Can't the director of mines, permanent secretary, and maybe one or two other technical people be on that board and exclude him everyone in? You need the advice. That's the advice you get before the board sits to look at it. When the board sits, the board is considering your recommendation based on the various advice you've received from the various stakeholders. It might make it more efficient, but also consistent.
Chair, is to, I don't know, PS and Director Mines. So the rationale behind the composition of the board have not really low numbers, and basically because mineral operations have cover various different sectors. So who's the board and depend on what kind of policy or sector now. By mining and prospecting him affect them. So that's why numbers, how many members of board now have inside law board, yeah. So, and also that, sometimes like director explaining process, when applications are given, there is a time frame for response, and usually members of board, so statutory office, what holders of statutory post, and only inside the board meeting now, but what's put them across forward now the various sector policies where or think that mining or prospecting might affect them. So if we omit one or two, director or PS will not be able to give a position on that sector law board because have no custodian law policy, but mandate law policy have with him another ministry or another sector. So that's why numbers have mainly law, which sectors now have affect them now mineral operation. Yeah. So we take into, I think when we go close by close law bill, we look through now Lord closest minerals board and the composition, then Bangifala provide more explanation as to the why now this one have inserted in. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I mean, if we took that approach, you should have a member Blosika, Lohia, and sector affected too, yeah. In one fall for representative woman was half lot land on a woman, no cross all no receiving royalty. You know, if we take that kind of approach, this board would be much bigger. So they're expressing their representative views. But all we're saying is that the prior process at the technical level now should take care of most of this stuff that seems you're postponing to the board. All that you have just said there, Deputy Director, should have been done prior to the submission reaching the board. So that submission is a perfect, complete submission, so that it allows for an affirmative or a negative resolution by the board. You're not having the board second-guessing more the technical level. CMPS first time made 3 levels of assessment. Was it you, Director? So you assess him or directorate level, board assess him more. Board by assess him how more? Board should not be assessing. Board should be taking decisions on that prior assessment. And then give minister. Minister should not assess him too. Minister should look at him or him look straight na for national security or national interest. And again, if I'm looking on those 2 grounds, I don't see any other grounds the minister might tell him, oh no more money, I'm look ravis. Ano I'm look nice ball, I'm give him goal him. But him trouble man. We should limit the grounds on which the minister may say, board look at this one again. But what's something about spelled out straight. There's no too much, you may not like him too much room for discretion. This is a strategic resource and we have to be absolutely clear and careful with how governance and decision making is going to be run. You may look at something, no, PS, this one maybe we should workshop first time, man. You will do them consultation, you will come consult them first time, I think, man. Make him you may something, you will go think around him good. Because this time you may formal back end process, ya. You may put him, you may back foot a little bit, yeah.
PS, before you respond to that one, Deputy Director, hem come up with him. All style time you are wakayit, or public service. You lo phone rinimania. Hem no sa respond by you quite for rinim. I was in Foreign Investment Board. And this one, requirement law board composition, para problem na that one because you have to get them. Approval, consent block, province, block, fishery, IFM, fishery, everyone must. And by me sit down the phone, me ririn, no more ririn. every day awesome no because hemi no sa function. In the 21st century. Time lo mi halena I'm finished now. Yes. Technology now. We got to get everyone working and law must compel him or no. If you know act, you know something workable, you get out of that position. You are a public officer. So this one yeah, me Remco and Awesome Director explaining first time yeah, all way blow me follow me to him before yeah, waiting one telephone line no more. You book him, you may line up for you reading your man before the 1990s, yeah. So we can't get to this one no more. If don't put them on the board, compel them to act and to be responsible for something. So me like for looking that one, hello. If we may not just continue for entertaining the officers, they are failing in this country and no say respond law. Duties block it. So this whole board composition as me him set up awesome no and me agree him all board composition no more if photocopying duplicating put him come no more. That time must go on. Let us get everyone that look after this interest and as leader him that time sector man. You may look like him as sunrise, yeah. But we got to do it, and this is the opportunity for me to him. PSR respond come law, what now? Leader of opposition. Tell him come.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Also, the questions around re-workshopping and also, yeah. I wish we could do, but with the process you may go with him. I think I would only suggest if you wish to, we can go line by line law legislation, which is it depends very much on the committee how we go. But much of the doubts and also where you may go, if we go thoroughly also by committee stage by follow him, but I think much of the concerns and also it also can be made a certain or also too low other parts of the bill, and so me think also like for example the very reason why we don't think a PS should be a member for now. Even him background below me lo geology, but still as a PS below ministry myself, I'm facing difficulty in focusing on the mining sector because law ministry set up itself holistically. There's also water, energy, and you can see competing priorities there where also. And it's not necessarily that someone by a technical background in a BAMCOM PS. It's not certain also, yeah? So that's why it's also emphasized in there that the chairperson be selected from or appointed, yeah, and must have mining knowledge and also which minimum that we need to have a chair that will be able to grasp the technical expectations and also, yeah, and not only that, but as Deputy Hem Talem, the inclusive decision is very, very important, low board level. Hem through that board shouldn't be deliberating except to make decisions as per due diligence processes here. But as me say, and though we may be still thinking back also chairman or doing things as opposed to what the technologies are around now, the reality of things, him still also no also conducive for what's expected, but and so also for me I would go and agree by the fact that we have to regularize or regulate him tasking blogata officers, yeah, and responsiveness blogata, and also not so much on the ministry itself, but for other agencies here where you got other regulatory mandates too, yeah, where HEMI play along with them, the sector itself. But the theme is really considering and taking all the points that was shared. Important that we really need to understand the whole processes for you must be ready for this sunrise sector you may try for establishing. I think I'm not by me safe for now.
Me worry Blumi, based on history Blumi come, is really the Minerals Board hasn't functioned well. With the greatest of respect to these positions, the people who have filled these positions from time to time, same people to you. Time or different people come into these positions. But if once you provide us that summary that we asked for this morning, it will, I assume, it will become very clear the erratic decision making that has happened. So in other words, the evidence is clear, the history is clear, this board has not functioned well. Governance has not functioned well. It has not served this industry well. It's broke. Let's fix it. That's my contention. What you're prescribing here is broke, but let's carry on with it. That's the difficulty I have. Let's do something that will overcome the erratic decision making and make law prescribe, compel, so that decision making him no cumbersome, decision making him no depend lo money, wake up lo right side lo bed lo morning and him come and feel good lo meeting, yeah? Decision making him no depend lo, yeah, I got to receive him file come, but me will no give him come submission, but yeah, I have dealt with that case law 1923, I think 24 no, me did deal with him matter, so by him also, no more, we don't, that's all gone. We can't have this kind of erratic decision making. When matters are in the due diligence process where you're processing at directorate level, him must come lo there now. If him no come lo there, the law must prescribe him what next steps more director must take him to make sure you obtain all the information so you are satisfied. There must be a criteria for the director being satisfied on an application before making a submission. So give him submission, go if you are not satisfied in any respect. But that needs to be spelled out. It's not spelled out here. There's nothing in the bill that spells out what will lead to satisfaction. So I think that will need to be looked at a little bit here. I mean, likely form part of our recommendations. If you did all of that, then the arguments you make for composition law board there, arguments based on the erratic experience here, or you mean like for fixing here. The other question I had was with regards to the current existing law is first come first serve basis here man apply first time, and now must be considered first time.
Right.
We're doing away with that now. Oh, very good. Okay. The other question is with regard, the bill will apply Golos Solwata too? No more? So deep sea mining by different, coastal mining by different?
Chair, for deep sea mining, no any policy, so there's no any provision for deep sea mining inside law bill, yeah. Okay. Like we're still working on the policy for deep sea mining, so the new bill, no anything about deep sea mining. I'm just
coastal number two?
Depend on what minerals now by like you Mr. finding no coastal, but for now, everyone is terrestrial no more.
So the bill by no apply coastal too?
I think time if HEMI cover him go area, then cast him coastal. For example, if let's say, or like mining now our the iron inside the sand. Then by that could be considered, but for the moment, what mi fala sabe lukim kamlo ministry na is the common minerals that they apply for, namas gold, silver, nickel and bauxite. Nama currently ta weka kamlo mi fala this time.
When you knew something, I'm coastal, you may buy hollow and more.
I'm saving silo coastal.
Underground.
Underground.
Chair, yeah. I think the way this bill framed is basically for take care of challenges that we face more on inland. Very less that is expected law offshore and of course law shorelines. I think you would also probably hear him that the government is putting a moratorium on deep sea engagements simply because Iminogarem the relevant policies in place and of course in a right-minded person, since you also capture something on off like shoreline here. These won't take into account in any wakalohem also. Just to go back to comments from you, opposition leader, we are really want to make it clear that the board we think is a very robust board, but decisions were transpired not as so we are willing to share those informations where you will request him, and we will definitely pass decisions and also to me watching over as an ex-officio, watching over the board's decision is always a decision of national interests. Also, I have confidence in the last board, though there are perceptions around director receiving the applications and at the same time him to chair board, but I sometimes miss it in just observing and also I see that the board is a very, very effective body, and Ogata really trustworthy individuals who are part of the board. That is the luring perception Mimifalagarem to maintain this board that you mean look into here, because for Mifala think that the board is very, very good. How the bill, the previous act hemi frame here now with a lot of discretion over the board, an implication to its reputation, but otherwise we will always share the documents that was requested for your comfort law, how na board him deal with him the mineral rights so far. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, PS. Yes, Director?
Sorry, me just like for the question that Honorable for Auke Langalangaham Garemba, lo coastal mining. So I think time by we go close by close now. There's a provision law, new law we have talk about now. Extraction of building materials permit, and there we talk about sand, coral, shell, or same for construction of buildings or roads. So with your regards to your question where you ask if there's going to be any extraction or coastal, then it could be, HEM could come under building materials, but then again, HEM is subject to an environmental assessment.
But minerals na no more. Building material no more.
Under here, building materials.
Very good. Chairman, I want to suggest for you may knock off now. Then tomorrow you may come close by close. Yeah. Make me go pray good on to Billy and come. Then. Wow.
Sounds great, leader.
Idea brutal man lo New Jersey.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah.
Then we can do close by close tomorrow and spend all day. But we need him 2 days here, close by close. So that we got a lot of drafting too, we got fresh good for tomorrow.
Yeah. I think there is
Then
lots.
tomorrow too, I think.
There is logic in that. That will. Yeah.
'Cause
We'll
important
leave that.
area.
Leave that to PS. Give him feel some responsibility,
Yeah,
because we are going to go close by close and we'll sit long hours here. So PS will go and also pray that tonight. Yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. We have dealt with Bill awkward questions, general questions this morning and this afternoon. I think we need time. Go back and lulukul lahem and mi fala tu by lita hem need for prayer hour mi fala mo waiting period, then we'll have a fresh mind to really go close by close. Then, okay, wait him that one, unless someone has an objection to that proposal. I take it that we're all in agreement. Let's stop here and by Imtala close tomorrow. Imtala come back 9:30. Then Imtala by start go through the law bill, close by close. And today what Imtala cover, hem could do hem keep Imtala samfala tintin. If follow for go bike. That is the line of thinking and question that by you expecting me fella for come up with him, and we'll see how we go. It's a very important bill for Imtala must give him attention to Imtala fully him. Thank you too much. By me call upon colleague Honorable George Tema for him closing him to prayer.
Let me pray. God, Heavenly Father, I thank you that you are bringing us to the end of this session. As we go to our various homes, we will ask you for continue to guide and bless me, Father, until me, Father, we meet again tomorrow here and deliver again what matters in front of me. All these things we ask in Jesus' name.
Amen.